Hello everyone and welcome to A Slice of My Life. I have new mail call today and this is from John Wardle over at Addictive Fidget Toys. After watching my review video on the 6-point Shuriken, John said that he had something that he wanted to show me, a prototype that he was going to send over, and this is it. The box does look a bit beat up because I think it's due to shipping issues and there's a little tear over here right now, so I really hope that nothing's missing from this package. I'm not so sure what John put in there, but I'm a bit worried, and I'm not showing you the underside because my personal information is there. So yeah, I'm just a little bit worried about this. So let's just crack this box open and let's see what's inside. John, thanks for this. I really appreciate it, man. So I think that the packing paper might have prevented anything from dropping out, but look at that tear over here. That's quite bad. I'm not sure which freight provider you use, but you know, just gotta be careful with this. More packing paper. Oh, this looks nice. And I think that's about it. Yep. What we have here apparently is a 4-point Shuriken. So this is the prototype of the 4-point Shuriken that is going to be released on addictivefidgettoys.com. Okay, so this side is what both sides will look like. Let's check it out. And the buttons look to be the same when you compare the 4-point and the 6-point Shuriken. Those machining marks are beautiful. Those hypnotic marks, yeah. So let's just take out the buttons on this guy and let's see what's happening on the other side of this design. Whoa, look, hybrid ceramic bearings, check it out. Nice. So remove this. Oh, look at those machining marks. What? Look at that. Okay, it looks to have these hypnotic lines that are present here on this design on the raised area, and then on the inside, what do you call that? The inset, the deep, I don't know, the cutouts, the grooves. Okay, let's call it the grooves. So the grooved area looks like, wow, look at that. It's like all in the same shape as the cutout. So that's actually pretty cool as compared to this side. Yeah, definitely. Look at that. I definitely prefer this side. So knowing that the final product will have this exact finish here, the same on this side, is gonna be awesome. Wow, look at that. Look at all those lines. Okay, so this is not a perfect curve. You can see by the lines here, it's a series of straight cuts that actually give you a sort of a texture that is not present here. Of course, the design here is a little bit different. These are flats, and you can see that even the curves inside, they have been kind of like rounded out. But this, so, oh gosh, all the way to here, man, this feels good. Okay, these are my first impressions, okay? So I'm just giving you my first impressions, guys. And we have chamfering that feels good as well. And please take note that this is also made in aluminum. So just give it a spin. Look at that. Look at that effect. Look. Okay, let's try this out. Man, look at that. Look. What? That looks good. Okay, I'm gonna try and get this here. Let's see if I can replicate the same effect. Yeah, almost. Look at that. This is on a low speed spin. So the difference with the 4 and the 6. Let's try a quick preloaded flick without the buttons first. Oh, sweet. Look at that. First impressions on this guy is really good. Okay, so I'm gonna put this guy on my EDC for a few days because it looks to be a bit more pocketable than the 6-point Shuriken. Look at that. And then I'll check back in on you guys and let you guys know what's up.
One eternity later.
Alright, I am back after spending a week with the 4-point Shuriken on my EDC. And I want to say that this guy is actually quite pocketable. It is more pocketable than the 6-point Shuriken for sure. And honestly speaking, the 4-point Shuriken isn't that small of a spinner. Here's a size comparison for you. You can see that it's much bigger than a stubby. And because it's 4 arms, it kind of resembles a square. So all around, it is quite a lot bigger than a stubby in my opinion. I mean, just look at that. So you already know just by this. It's slightly bigger than 6 centimeters, that's for sure, because when you get a Spinetics pouch, you're not able to fit the 4-point Shuriken into the pouch. That's something you should take note of. If you're a fan of spinners that are 6 centimeters or less, then nope, you shouldn't get the 4-point Shuriken. But much like the 6-point Shuriken, if you want to get something for beautiful spin effect, the 4-point Shuriken really is for you. The machining marks here are really beautiful. Now let's talk about this. The one I have in hand is a prototype sent to me by John of Addictive Fidget Toys. Let's look at the non-retail side. This is just standard machining marks, and these marks, as you guys can see, is a circular-ish kind of mark, and these are actually just the cutout marks left over from the machining. So what I want to give props to is that after these machine marks were made, they actually went ahead and gave it a secondary layer of machining marks. As you can see on the inside here, it's actually a little spiral pattern on the inside, and it really is quite cool. I mean, look at that. It's just an extra touch that really works out very well. I really like this design. And for the main flats on the outside here, these feature the same kind of machining marks. I think it's the same, or relatively the same, as the 6-point Shuriken. That's why you're able to get such a beautiful spin effect. Look at that. Even on low speeds like that, you get a very, very hypnotic spin effect. And if you spin it in the other direction, you get a spiraling mark that seems to travel in the opposite direction instead. So one way you get a spiraling mark that kind of travels, I guess, like outward. As you guys can see, it's like moving out. And then if you spin it this way, you get spiraling marks that seem to travel inwards. Now, I'm going to try and slow it down a little bit with my middle finger so you can actually see. Now look at that. Now these marks look like they're traveling in. So it's really, really interesting what they've done here. And I like the fact that now when it's spinning really fast, you actually see a very unique two-tone or two-layer kind of a spin effect, because outside you get that spiraling mark thing, and on inside it really looks like a very high-speed spinning Shuriken. That's really, really unique. So that's really the strongest selling point of this spinner. If you really want something with a very, very cool spin effect, then get this for sure. It is light, made of aluminum, and I want to really just tell you guys that this has zero hotspots. I really love the finishing on it. I really love the workmanship and quality on this. Look, these edges, like I mentioned, it's like a series of flats. But out here, you're not even able to detect it. Look, it just looks perfectly rounded and curved. But up here, this is so unique. I've never seen or felt any other spinner with this finishing here. It's really cool. It's all rounded here, no sharpness at all. The chamfers as well, it's very, very, very nicely chamfered. And because of the machining marks, I don't even know if they actually put it through some tumbling kind of process, but with the machining marks and everything, it just feels so good in hand. This has got to be one of the best feeling spinners that I've handled. I'm not saying that it is the most comfortable. I mean, it is comfortable when you're actually, messing with it, but in terms of the feel itself and the texture, this is just amazing. It's really cool. I really, really enjoy it. And I think that adding this with the 6-point Shuriken makes a great family. This is awesome, man. Thank you, John. This is cool. There is no price stated yet at the time of recording, so I'm not so sure how much this guy will run. But knowing Addictive Fidget Toys, you could choose to just purchase the frame alone, or you could have different bearing variations, and with each different bearing variations or bearing type, of course, if you get a higher grade bearing, then yeah, it's gonna drive the cost a bit higher. But if the 6-point Shuriken's price is any form of indication, and if this guy is about that range or even cheaper, then I would say, yeah, it's not a bad buy. But really, you want to get a spinner like this for the marks. This spin effect is just out of this world. I mean, just look at that. This speaks for itself. The spin effect is everything for this spinner. It just works. Look at that. Next, let's talk about fidgetability of this spinner. This spinner is really, really fun to fidget. It is actually more fun than the 6-point Shuriken. Yes, the 6-point Shuriken feels like it's gonna spin longer because that was a 6-arm spinner. This doesn't feel like it's gonna spin as long because it is not only shorter, but it has 4 arms. But it's very, very stable. Very, 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 very stable. Look, it's still spinning. I kid you not. Look. It's still spinning, guys. So spin quality is good. It's super smooth. The bearings are seated very nicely. I gotta tell you, man, the bearing is seated very, very nicely in its frame, and there's almost no play in the buttons as well. So let me just quickly do this. Look, there's almost no play in the buttons, so that really is another plus point. The only thing is that for people who don't like asymmetrical designs and shapes, then no, you're not gonna have fun fidgeting with this guy, because if I have it in this orientation and I have my middle finger right here and I'm pushing forward, That feels really comfortable. But I'm not able to stop it and get my finger in here all the time to prepare myself for a nice second flick unless I stop it and then I hook it back like that. So that's what I'm actually doing all the time. I'm kind of stopping it and then pulling it back so I can have my middle finger in that groove right there. And if I do that, it'll just slide right up and I can get myself a good strong flick or forward flick. But for the preloaded flick, it feels a bit different because this spinner is really light, so I'm not getting that like kind of a snappy feeling. It's aluminium, so what more can you ask from aluminium, right? It's really light and spins really fast, but you don't really get a satisfying preloaded flick if you flick it this way in this orientation. But if you swap it around, then you're gonna get something really different because of this groove right here. It feels completely different. It feels like a different spinner altogether if you actually hold it this way. But you're not gonna get a nice forward flick unless you start the forward flick from somewhere far behind like that. Because if you're having a forward flick from here, then it would just feel like the whole frame is just gonna slip. Because it's really just so smooth, guys. That's really it. It's just so smooth. So forward and back with a index finger flick. Okay, forward in this orientation is fine. But if you go back, this would happen. See? You would smack yourself right on top with that edge right there. So it's kind of hard to... Look, I'll try it again. Look, put my index finger right here and pull back. I keep hitting myself. So that's one thing you guys gotta take note of, okay? Shoot, I thought I got it. No, I did not. Ouch, no, I did not. Okay. Yeah, well, I'm hitting it here. But if you flip it around, this is much better because of the curvature. For some reason, I don't know why. And forward is as easy. So for people who flick their spinners this way with your index finger, then pullback is not going to be very fun if you hold it in this orientation. But if you hold it outwards like that, then it's gonna be okay. So it really depends, guys. But this, guys, is a super light spinner and it's very fun. And I believe that the fun part is attributed to more than just one factor. I mean, it feels good in hand. That's why it's fun. And the edges are all so smoothed out. And that's why also it's fun. And because you get a crazy spin effect. And that's why it's fun. So in my opinion, this is one of the more unique novelty spinners. It is not just a novelty spinner, unlike, say for example, the Flick Deck. It's really just a novelty spinner. Even if we compare this 4-point Shuriken to the 6-point Shuriken, I would say that the 6-point Shuriken is more of a novelty spinner versus the 4-point Shuriken. This kind of brings that spin effect and brings out the actual quality of a spinner in this form factor. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's smaller. The design might not appeal to everyone, but yeah, it's a very classic, traditional Shuriken styled silhouette. But as a spinner, this guy works. I mean, in my opinion, I would like it a lot more if it was slightly smaller, so I could put it into a pouch, for example, or it would be easier for me to slip into my pocket. But with the size and everything, you get a very beautiful spin effect. And I'm not sure if this would actually work out if it was anything smaller. Plus, it is made of aluminium, so any smaller, you would get something that is so light to the point that you wouldn't even feel like you're spinning anything at all. Like, this has a slight spin resonance, and some people are fans of spin resonance. Some people just don't want something that is completely silent. It's not like completely silent or smooth to the point that you can't even tell it's spinning in your hand, and that's also another quality that I personally like. Oh wow, that spin effect is nice. Look at that. I didn't realize it would happen. Oh, cool. This is caused by these marks over here, the machining marks up here. Look at that. That is a winning spin effect. Look at that. Okay, the reflections on this, beautiful. Beautiful spin reflections. Man, I didn't even realize that would happen. Okay, what if I swap it over? I just want to see this. Oh, looks like a whirlpool, like a tornado-ish kind of effect. That's nice. Look at that light reflection. Oh, whoa. Okay, this is really cool. This is really cool to see, both in person and on camera. Alright guys, so I know I've already peppered the entire video with the pros and cons that I feel of this guy, so I'm just gonna quickly summarize everything for you. First of all, I will say that this is not a typical kind of spinner. The main reason why you want to get it is really for that spin effect. The machining marks on this guy is just amazing, and it gives you some really hypnotic spin effects. This is just one of it. However, it is not a very small spinner. It is a 4-arm, almost square-like kind of spinner. I would say that it's square-like because of the shape. It is asymmetrical, so it's going to feel different when you hold it this way or this way, depending on the orientation. Next is the price point. I do not yet know what the price point is. But for this, to be fair, I would just say it really depends on what you value. For me, I think that if this guy was around the 40s to 50s range, it would still be something that I would consider buying. But if it was 60 and above, then no, not in my opinion. I probably wouldn't get it. Also, it depends on the bearings that I'm getting it with. But to add this to your collection, simply because you want a hypnotic looking spinner, then yes, go ahead, do it. But if the design does not appeal to you, then it does not appeal to you. It's really, really comfortable, but at the same time, it's really, really light. So all these are the important factors that most spinner enthusiasts would care about. That brings us to the end of the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that I provided enough information for you to decide whether or not the 4-point Shuriken is a spinner for you. I'm really thankful to John of Addictive Fidget Toys for sending this to me and letting me do an honest review on this, even though it is a prototype. So make sure, guys, that you take note the retail version will actually feature machining marks like this on both sides, not this. This is not the machining marks that you'll get on the retail version. You'll get this, which is a much better, much nicer finish. As always, guys, links in the video description below. Addictive Fidget Toys, check them out. And I'll see you guys in the next slice of my life. Bye!